broadcasting platform I use to send these out, well, both to the HAPS network itself and to a whole bunch of other social media things. But the best way if you want to engage with these broadcasts is to join HAPS using the link at the top. And I'm doing this as part of a project called 30 Days Wild. 30 Days Wild is a project run here in the United Kingdom by the Wildlife Trusts, and it's all about encouraging people to get out at least once a day during June, hence the 30 days, and do what they're calling random acts of wildness. Do something to engage with the natural world. And what I'm doing today, I'll turn the camera around so you can see something. You might be able to see hanging on a dead bit of tree there a sort of yellow capped white bucket, and that is a pheromone lure trap for some of the clearwing moths. So I'll explain what that is. Which way shall I do this? So I'll explain what the clearwing moths are first. The clearwing moths are a group of moths, kind of obvious really. I mean, clearwing moths wouldn't be trying to find some pictures of them. And there we go. And they're a group of species in the scientific name Synanthedon. And they are moths that, here's an example of one which I will turn around. Here's an example of one. They're moths with typically transparent wings, hence clear wings, hence the name. But one of the things about these groups is that the females attract the males by issuing pheromones. Yes, it is a good app, Fiona. Fiona made this app. I suspect you might have had somebody else in the team who helped her as well, but Fiona was a significant, Fiona's company made this app and Fiona designed a lot of it. It's a really good app. That's its name. And if you look up the company Nature Guides, without a space between the word nature and guides, you'll find out about their apps. But this is a really good app, and the females produce a pheromone, the males come to the pheromone. And one of the things people have learned to do is to, I was going to ask you about that, Fiona. One of the things that we've learned to do is people have learned to make synthetic versions of the pheromones. And therefore you can put these synthetic pheromones out and they hopefully attract the males. And then you can go and see if you've got them. So the pheromone I put out about 10-15 minutes ago is the pheromone that's designed for this species, although that's a female of it. And this is a species called yellow-legged clearwing, or Synanthedon vespiformis. It's a species associated with oak trees, and if you look around you can see a lot of oak trees around here. Lots and lots of oak trees. But the larvae of this feed on the wood of oak trees in old stumps and damaged oak. So I put that lure out and I put it in this small trap, and the idea is they fly to the lure, they drop into the trap, and I can go and have a look, particularly if I don't hit the camera, and see if I can see any in there. This lure does also attract another species, which is this one. This is Synanthedon andreniformis, or the orange-tailed clearwing. That mainly feeds on a species called wayfaring tree, which we don't, much less likely to be here. But it's not impossible that it's in the area, but much less likely. So the one I'm expecting to find is yellow-legged clearwing, which looks like that. Although I'll be finding a male, because it's the males that come to light, so its abdomen will look like that. So we're going to wander over now and see if there are any moths in this trap and see if we can identify them. Weirdly, other species sometimes do come to these as well. But we'll go and see what we've got, if anything, in the trap. This is going to be interesting to do if there is anything in here one-handed, holding this device. Well, no, there's something flying around in there. You might be able to see something flying. No, that's not a clearwing. It's too small. I think I can see something on the bottom. There's actually something on the bottom there. That looks much more promising to be a clearwing moth. So I'm going to have to open this, I'm going to pick it up and take it back to where I was, where I've got the chair to rest on, just to give me a bit more space to operate in. So we're back here. It's not a trap that sits very effectively vertically, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to hold this between my legs, so you may not get a very good view for a moment whilst I'm faffing around trying to get things out, but with any luck I want to try and get that thing that's flying around first, that's moving around first, and that's going to be challenging because it's active. So this, I'll grab first of all the one that is not a clear wing. We'll have a look at that in a minute. I just want to pot the others up. You've probably got a terrible view here, but if you can have a look inside, you can see clear wings. Now, what species do you think they are, Fiona? Fiona knows the moths, and of course she made that wonderful app we were looking at, so you can look it up. But I think they are the orange-tailed clear wings that I said we probably wouldn't get, which would be a new species for this site, and thus rather exciting. Try and pot one up. There's one in a pot. I will show you these better in a moment. Let's try and have a look at this one. Can I make it focus on the moth? So that to me looks very much like orange-tailed clearwing. So if you keep that image in your mind, I think that is one of those, and not what I was expecting to get, which is one of those. So that's really rather exciting. Put that in a pot as well. And then we will see if we can see them in the pot any better. If I stand that on the, no, it doesn't like the light. Stand that on there, do that. Hopefully people can see that. It's got a very big orange tail. So those are orange-tailed clearwings, which Synanthedon and vespiformis. Oops, the camera's having a little tantrum again. Picture is pixely. It says I've got a good signal here. And the little micro moth that was flying around, I'm not even going to attempt to show you. Let's see if I can get the picture to improve and have a look at the moth in a pot. So if I do that, it might focus. And it's got just two bars across the abdomen, and then it's got this really obvious orange brushy tail. So that's interesting because neither of the food plants, well, one of the food plants just doesn't occur. Oh, and a third one's turned up as I've been expecting the trap, which is just mad. Just give me a second. Let's see if I can find another pot. So another one has turned up as we were standing around talking to each other. I will show you the pheromone lure just to explain how this works. So the pheromone lure, the lure that's attracting those moths, is this little plastic vial here. It's essentially embedded with a synthetic version of the female sex chemical from these moths, and then it sat in this and it attracted it. I'm going to put it away now because it's obviously still sitting there pumping out its smell and attracting more males, and you don't want to disrupt the populations too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into a little plastic bag and seal it away, and then that's going to go away and into the freezer just to stop the chemical continuing to exude and allow me to test it somewhere else. So there we have it. There's, for me, rather an exciting finding. I was not expecting to get this species. I was hoping we'd get yellowleg because I have had that here before, but 3 of a species that I've not seen before and I wasn't expecting is really rather exciting. I suspect I'll probably end the broadcast here. It was just going to be a brief broad. I was expecting to show you nothing. I was expecting this not to work today because we haven't had any success yet this year. But we have. So I will end there on what is hopefully now not too pixelated an image of this moth. And I'll be back on here tomorrow for another 30 days.